For the first time in Super 1, the guest class Junior X30 makes its appearance. Lots of hype about this class, and we're finally going to get to see what it's all about. Harry Platten and Angus Fender on the front row of the grid from Ethan Pitt in third position. Away we go, and it's going to be a good start here from Platten as he goes into the lead, although a big slide as he holds Ethan Pitt to ransom in second place, and that's a spin in the back. Tom Pegram gets caught out there at the first chicane, and already a move for third position. That's a very brave move from Harry Dyson to move into third place. He's got him. Very nicely done. Up into third place as he takes on the man on the front row, Angus Fender. And in fifth position, that is the 19 of Matthew Hopcraft. Already a great battle going on. Oh, that's the 44 going off. Philip Hansen, he puts a wheel on the grass and it spits him off into the barriers at Chandler's. Nothing you can do once one wheel gets on the grass.
Gets it going again, but he's miles behind now. There was nobody near him, so it was all his own work, unfortunately. Harry Platten, second in heats 1 and 2, one final one. He's looking to double up here in the finals, but as he lost the lead to Pitt, Pitt down the inside into the hook, and Pitt takes the lead.
Masterclass driving there from Ethan Pitt. He knew that on the first lap it's still difficult to get the tyres up to temperature. Platten just went a slightly bit sideways through Raymond's, and he took advantage. Very nicely done. Dyson in third position, now threatening as well from P4 on the grid up to P3, and Fender down to fourth position. This is a really interesting battle. It seems that the drivers on row 2 on the grid are actually doing a better job of things in the first couple of laps than row 1. They seem to have got a bit of an advantage here. Angus Fender fourth place, second in final one, but he won at both of the earlier heats, so he will be very frustrated sitting in fourth place, especially as he starts to lose time to Matthew Hopcraft in fifth position. Leaders tightening up. Oh, that's Fender going into the side of Dyson. Now that is really tough to tell. Did Dyson lose it through Raymond's and Fender had nowhere to go, or was there initial contact to start that one? We couldn't tell that from the footage. That's put Hopcraft up into third position, but really difficult to tell there. A side by side again in the lower positions. I think that is Fender losing another place or two there. Indeed it is, because Greetham has now come up to fifth place. Fender's having to get back on terms here. Dyson will not be happy, but I don't know, was that an illegal move or not? It's tough to tell from the footage.
We can't tell from our footage. There's another place being made up down the field.
That's Callum Barnett.
Callum Barnett, yeah. No, we couldn't tell from our footage there. I tell you who would tell though. The man standing as we pan round. Oh, we didn't quite see him. The official, Ken Potter, the clerk of the course, was standing on that corner. Now, there's no warning flag out, so whether or not they deem that's just a racing incident or not, I'm not sure. We don't know whether the 20 car, the Harry Dyson's car, lost his back end and then Fender had nowhere to go, or whether there was contact previous to that. We can't tell from our footage. Ken Potter, the clerk of the course, was on that corner, and it doesn't look like a warning flag's been issued.
No, indeed. Ethan Pitt now all over the back of Harry Platten, trying to get back into the lead of the race. These two have both led at some stage in this race, and both of them will want to take the win just as much as the other. Platten, a head look back over his shoulder as he wants to make sure what the gap is. I can tell you what the gap is. It's about the width of a newspaper at the moment. There's nothing in it between the two of them, as side by side for third. Dyson is fighting his way through back into third position past Hopcraft. I didn't quite see if he made the move into the hook to get through into third place. Yes, he did. So up to third place then goes Harry Dyson. And behind him, Fender's got through to fourth, and they're scrapping for position. Oh, Dyson goes wide on the grass there up on the inside. Now he's going to have to try and defend, because here comes Fender. There's contact between the two, and off goes Dyson into the wall. Nothing he can do about that once he gets the grass, and he's pitched around, getting on the throttle on the wet grass. Now, was that fair or foul? It's tough to tell.
We'll have a look at the replay as the carts sweep through diggers. Let's have another look at the replay. Now, we saw Harry Dyson run wide through Surtees, put his wheels on the grass. His wheels are damp. He's run wide again. Now, at this point, Fender is trying to turn to the right, not to the left, so he's not driven into him. It's Dyson that's coming back on the track, but under investigation is the 67 kart for contact.
In fact, Dyson was actually turning to the right to get back onto the racing line and avoid Fender getting past him, and I think he just misjudged. Oh my word, that is a penalty of 1 lap going to Angus Fender. Now, we have to obviously take into account that they may have judged that's 2 incidents he's been the instigator of, which is a very unfair call to make, isn't it, Alan?
Well, we didn't see a warning given to him for the first incident. We don't know that from the footage. What I will say is that if you go back and look at that replay, clearly both drivers are turning the wheel to the right.
Yes, indeed.
Angus Fender is not turning into Harry Dyson. It's Dyson that's coming back on the track.
Yeah.
Now, if there's an appeal in place and Angus Fender has appealed to the MSA, he can then use that footage to back up his case. I think he'd get that decision overturned.
Wow. Meanwhile, he is there in third position, closing in on Harry Platten, and second place Ethan Pitt. Now, he's going to run third on the road. He may not yet know, of course, of this penalty. He probably doesn't at this point.
He won't know at the moment. There is a digital sign system here at Llandow, but it's not in use this weekend, interestingly enough. They've got a really great digital system. For some reason, it's not being used. If it was, there would be a sign here across the finish line. 67 would know that he's getting a penalty. At the moment, he probably doesn't. Neither do the other drivers as well. That's you've got to take that into account.
That's very true. So Dyson obviously will be hopping mad at the side of the circuit. He won't know that Fender will get a penalty for it, and neither to the two drivers in front of him. So Platten and Pitt still dicing for the lead here, but Fender is right on the tail. Now, he is going to be sick to his stomach when he gets into the pits at the end of this race and realises that he'll finish last no matter what happens.
Yeah, 1 lap penalty pretty much puts him down in last place. He's getting close to the leaders. He'll be looking for the win here. He's probably at this point thinking, that wasn't my fault. That was the driver coming back on the track. He ran into me. I didn't run into him.
And I have to say, I do kind of see where he's coming from. I think that was a little bit of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I don't think that was one driver's fault over the other.
No, I think Harry, he ran wide. He had a couple of tyres on the grass. His tyres were wet.
Racing incident.
Well, it's a difficult one. But the decision's been made now. So whatever happens, unless there's an appeal by Angus Fender, he's going to end up this race in last place. Whatever happens here, at the moment, he'll be thinking, I'm battling for the win.
Well, Pitt is desperately trying to get on terms for second position. There's Hopcraft in fourth position. We look back to fifth place. That is Tom Pegram. So he's worked his way up through the field well after that spin earlier on. Callum Barnett in the 17 in sixth position. So great stuff in this latter stages of the race. And it's these three drivers scrapping for position. Fantastic stuff at the moment as Fender gets closer to these two. He's, of course, because he's got the penalty, he doesn't know that. So he's just got to race for his life. As far as he's concerned, he's had an incident. Forget about it. Brush it off. Get on with the racing.
Yeah, and the other thing, of course, even if he's got a penalty, even if it said there was a penalty on the start line, if he'd been told at the moment there was a penalty, so we see the change for the lead, he would still have to race for the win because he can appeal that decision at the end of the day. So it wouldn't even matter if someone was in his helmet on a radio, for example. We don't have radios, but if they did and were saying to him, you've just been penalised 1 lap, he would just carry on racing anyway because, well, okay, that's fine, but as far as I'm concerned, I did nothing wrong. I'm going to appeal it after the race.
Yeah, when he gets reinstated, of course, he'll be in the position he actually finishes in, so he may as well go for the win anyway. And up to the lead, of course, has now come Harry Platten again, so he's taken the place back off Ethan Pitt. They are swapping positions, big style here, these two, and they are very evenly matched. Now, Fender just sitting in third position, just watching these two at play. It's not the right time to go for the overtaking move, but he can spend these 2 to 3 laps reading where they're hitting the apex, how fast they can go through each chicane, where they're losing time to each other, and he can pick up the pieces here. Fender is in the smart position here.
Yeah, and he won the earlier 2 heats, didn't he? So we know he's got that quality, and here comes Pitt down the inside for the lead. Will Fender go with him? He doesn't. That surprises me a little bit.
He's going to time it right, hasn't he? Because at this moment, he's still the man in the box seat in third position. He wants to... Oh, a little bit of contact as into the back. I think that was a little bit of misreading of the situation there from Platten. I think Pitt just came across...
Fender for second, takes advantage of that earlier contact. That slowed the momentum of the 41 car of Harry Platten.
Yeah, that definitely was a racing incident because there was nothing really that he could do about it. He just
misjudged for the lead. He's got the lead on the track. On the track, at least, Fender leads.
Wow.
But of course, we know after the race he's going to get a 1 lap penalty. As things stand, he's going to have to appeal that to get it turned round and hold on to the win, if he can stay there, that is.
That's almost more cruel than finishing in third position. If you finish in third position and you get a 1 lap penalty, well, that is a very sick situation to be reading. But if you win the race and get a 1 lap penalty, I think that's even 10 times worse, because you've done all that hard work, you've done everything you needed to on the race circuit, and he's going to come away with, in his opinion, an injustice.
Yeah, he will get points. A 1 lap penalty still means you score points in the race. You're not being excluded from the race and scoring nothing.
There's the
So the 1 lap
confirmation.
penalty to be applied then to Fender. That is the confirmation after the race is ended. So he'll go from first down to last.
And as it stands at the moment, of course, Pitt and Platten in second and third are actually battling for the win, because from their point of view, they don't know they're actually battling for first position. So these two scrapping away, they're going to come across the line in second position, a little bit peeved, and they'll get a nice surprise as they go into the last lap, because they'll actually be fighting for the win. And they're side by side as Pitt again defends, and there's contact. That is Platten through into what is, of course, the lead of the race now. Watch, Pitt is in front, Platten's behind, bang, he tips him up, and look, there are two officials watching that incident.
Yeah, two of them watching it, and I can tell you the mandatory penalty for making up a place after contact is 5 places if it's been seen, and clearly we can see the two officials have been looking directly at that incident. Pitt's wheels clearly lifted off the ground by Platten and made up the place as a consequence. He's not given the place back. That's a mandatory 5-place penalty, but only if it's been seen, and it doesn't look like there's a warning flag out on the start line. Doesn't look like it has been seen.
So Fender crosses the line to take the win on the road. He's going to get a lap penalty, of course, so he's going to be very angry about that. Ethan Pitt crosses the line second behind Harry Platten in actuality, but it doesn't look like there's a penalty. Ethan's going to be very unhappy about that. Hopcraft in third place, Pegram fourth, from Barnett in fifth, Bailey Gregory comes home in sixth, from Greetham, Dyson, Hanson and Douglas. But a dramatic end to this race. Some drivers will be a lot happier than others.
Okay, Harry, a great result. Could you just describe your battle with Ethan and with Angus Fender?
It was very close between me and Ethan, and then Angus came into the battle past me first, and then it was close on the last lap, but I couldn't catch up to Angus on the last lap because he had such a big gap.
But overall, pleased with your performance this weekend?
Yeah, very pleased with it. It's been a good weekend, good points.
So Junior X30 comes to a dramatic conclusion. Senior X30 is next.